The Titans have powered their way to 227. It's the 27th 200-plus score this season. We're already well ahead of the overall record in IPL season, and we're just at match 51. 20 games still to go. It's their highest score in IPL history. It's also a fine knock by Shubman Gill at a ground that he loves, was set off by Wriddhiman Saha's brilliance. So it's all about the Titans, and the 8 bowling options of the Super Giants could not find a way to stop them. We look back at that on Visit Saudi presents ESPNcricinfo T20 Timeout. It wasn't a scrapper, it deceived us, Dasgupta and Tom Moody. Therefore, you'd have been wise to go 200 or 200 plus.
Which you do every game.
Get it right at some point. But let's get an assessment firstly that this was a deceptive surface and it was very good to bat, Deep.
Oh yes, it was. Or we can put it the other way around. We'll figure it out in the second innings. But I think the way Wriddhiman and Shubman batted, it looked much better than what, personally, I think looked better than what it actually is. The way they batted. I still think it'll grip. I still think it'll slow down a bit. But I guess we'll figure it out in the second innings because the way they batted, they started off well. They kept going. They didn't stop after 6. It was just a masterclass in batting first in a T20 game.
Yeah, as tempted as I am to talk about Shubman Gill's fine 94 not out, I guess it's fair to say Wriddhiman Saha set the tone here, Tom. The high-impact innings, 81 of 43 at a time where Shubman was almost playing second fiddle or comfortably playing second fiddle. That is the very best of Saha, who carried on even after the power play.
Yeah, incredible innings from him. You know, his timing and, you know, his proactiveness in that power play, and then continued on with that through those middle overs was, you know, it's a sight to see. It just shows you how much of a threat he is. And he's already got 100 in IPL cricket, and that was when he was playing for Punjab, and that was in Bangalore.
It was a playoff game as well.
Yes, it was. So it was a big game. So he's hit some, you know, some pretty big highs as a batter in T20 cricket. And he showed again just how valuable he is. When you give him that role at the top of the order, he's got the game.
I think it's a nice reminder that he's still got the game, because that was 9 years on, and we think if Wriddhiman Saha's role is now limited to just a quick burst at the start, and then you'd perhaps see him get outside of the power play. This is Wriddhiman Saha, who looks like he can play some baseball should India need him as cover.
I guess so. I mean, listen, I've said this before. I think he should have been part of the Australia series. Situation is completely different to what it was a year ago when he was told whatever he was told. And I think, yeah, we need to take cognizance of the situation right now. The fact that Rishabh's not available. Why not?
Yep. I don't know how much time teams would spend when you have a lineup of Shubman, Hardik, Miller, Tewatia even, and say, yeah, right, so what are you going to do to Saha, guys? How are we going to bowl to him? Because he seems to get on these rolls in these innings. And sometimes I think, oh my, that's the ball that you shouldn't be bowling to Saha. He loves clipping you. He loves clipping you. And then all of a sudden he starts hitting almost every ball for a boundary. Does he take teams by surprise sometimes?
I think he does sometimes. I think also Saha loves playing in the shadows of the rest of the team. You know, he doesn't want to be the pin-up boy. He doesn't want to be the most talked about person and the poster boy. He's quite happy just being that quietly reserved, good team man. I've had the privilege of working with him for a few years at Sunrisers, and you don't get a better team than Saha. He really is, both whether he's involved in the playing 11 or not, and I've seen him in both situations. As a senior player, he's doing as much work off the field as anyone else as a 12th, 13th, 14th man. And it just tells you a lot about the character. So every time I see him have that type of success, it puts a smile on my face because you just know that he's the complete package.
So rare for a player from your state, from Bengal, no?
Really?
No, okay, no. No, you're like that, yeah. Okay, all seriousness, wonderful innings from Wriddhiman Saha. Shubman Gill, 94 of 51. We had all sorts of chat pre-match. You know, is Gill going to be able to take down spinners? Has he been practicing some range hitting? He had 6 sixes and no 4s.
Yeah, for the longest time.
He was only range hitting today. Yeah.
Listen, he's wonderful. He's brilliant, and I guess both of us did mention the fact that he's good against spin.
Yes.
It's just that every now and then, obviously, because his approach to spin is like Virendra Sehwag. he does not treat spinners as bowlers kind of a thing. So, today was his day, as simple as that. And some of those initial 2 sixes of Bishnoi, one was extra cover, the other was over Bishnoi's head, didn't even step out. And these are long boundaries. We're talking about 70-odd meter long boundaries here. Did not even step out, just front foot press, over extra cover, over the bowler's head. He is special. There's no two ways about it. His quick hands, good bat swing, timing is... I don't think in the modern day contemporary cricket there's anyone who times the ball better than him.
Is that one of the, you could say almost qualities of the supremely gifted player, that he can hit a spinner for 6 over cover without stepping out?
I think it shows someone that's got a really good base to their game. You can't play, that shot that you're referring to over extra cover unless you've got a superior base and you've got great wrists. And he's got both. And what I sort of, when I look at Shubman Gill bat, one of the things that really stands out for me is the depth of crease that he's got, and also the range he's got with his hands. He pulls as well with the same sort of action. He's got a long range with his hands. A lot of people pull with a shorter range. He's got a long reach, long range, and it's the same with that extra cover shot. His hands extend right out and his arms are at full extent. His bat always looks longer than anyone else's because of that. So even if he's not quite there, he's got the ability, and he's quite a tall guy as well, so he's got the ability to reach out. So therefore he's hard to bowl to. You slightly get it wrong, he's got the ability to reach right out and extend and still hit it well.
And he's, especially against spin, he's very old school. He's very kind of fidgety. He does not play from the crease as much. He generally uses his feet, going forward or backward. You very rarely would see him playing from the crease itself. There's always, old school Indian batters especially. I mean, the first thing was, can I step out? The first reaction of a batter was, a little bit of flight and you're stepping out, or playing off the back foot. And he's that kind of a batter, very old school, the way he plays spin.
All right, well, it's worked, and it's worked brilliantly. It's a fine innings by Shubman Gill, who we did say pre-show has just gone off the boil. So put that in the dustbin.
You
he's
said
looking
that.
Good. When I say we, I mean the platform that I represent. Okay, I said that. I will take ownership of what we put out. But let's see if the Lucknow Super Giants take ownership of that bowling effort. 8 bowlers used, Tom, now as well as Gujarat batted. How would you review that bowling? Was it poor, or was it just they came up against a couple of batters on their day?
I think a bit of both. The one thing I thought tactically, I thought that there was a few things I thought they had missed. The introduction of spin was too late. You've got 2 inexperienced bowlers opening the bowling. And as soon as you recognise it was a pretty good surface, I think they needed to introduce spin and just change the pace of the game. And the pace of the game wasn't changed until I think at the 5th over. And to me, that was 2 overs too late. You need to, from a captaincy point of view, read the game and read the situation and the conditions quicker and make that adjustment. It's different if you've got, Mohammad Shami bowling or Mohammad Siraj bowling or Josh Hazlewood bowling, where they can make the adjustment as experienced impact bowlers. But, we didn't have that in this case. So I would have pointed out that as a potential flaw, tactical flaw. The other thing is I was intrigued to see, the use of spinners. We only had Bishnoi only bowled the 2 overs.
Yes.
And
Krunal bowled out, but Swapnil bowled.
Swapnil only bowled the 1 over, and he bowled it only for 7. So what was wrong with that over? So again, it's easy to look back and reflect when after the event. But I thought, firstly, spin was late into it, and also spin wasn't used enough during the middle.
Perhaps the casualty of an inexperienced captain.
And this, if you look at the way he got in the bowlers in the first 6-7, is very identical to what KL Rahul would do as a captain. On a pitch where there would be a little bit of turn, Krunal would come in and bowl before anyone else, Bishnoi or anyone. So now, obviously because the batters were batting so well, needed to change things up. But I think still follow the same template that they've been following over the season, and nothing changed there. But the other thing which Tom mentioned right at the top of the game was inexperience and very little game time.
Yeah.
With Mohsin,
it showed with
Adarsh,
Mohsin Khan.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the other thing, when you are facing a sort of a tornado like that, when a batting side is just wiping you away, you need to have the ability to slow the game down.
Yeah.
There's two ways of doing that. That's with the pace of the deliveries that you're bowling, and also the time that you deliver the balls. So I don't think that the art of that was used as well as it can be. So let's just take some heat out of the game, let's slow the game down, and let's bowl some slower bowlers, and let's then just change the tempo and see if we can get it. The switch flicked the other way.
It also looked like the GT were relentless, because you tried to sneak an over out of Mayers, went for 16. You tried to get an over out of Stoinis, went for 20. So whatever part-time options Krunal Pandya thought he could bank, it wasn't just allowed. So they got the tempo right, and I guess that's a nice talking point of how you set the tempo in light of what we discussed last night, Tom, that you give yourself the chance to get 220, and they've managed to get that.
Yeah, look, it's interesting, isn't it? We've seen this year with the impacts of the real shift in the numbers of these high scores, and we're talking roughly 20 as an add-on to what we're used to seeing, and these middle overs are the ones that have been the ones that have suffered the most. If you're looking at it from a bowling perspective, where before traditionally in T20 cricket, we saw teams go out hard in the power play. That's a free hit because you've got only two outfielders. The rest are in the ring. But then we had this slowing down period from over 7 to 14 or 15, where you had to negotiate potentially a little bit of mystery spin, and so teams were cautious, so they had wickets in hand to be able to go hard at the last 6 or 5 overs. But now teams are recognising, okay, well, we can't afford that now. We need to pounce on these middle overs. Cool. There's going to be the odd exception where you've got a Rashid Khan or conditions are slightly different where you can't do that. But generally, most of the surfaces that we've seen this year in the IPL have been pretty good to bat on.
But the couple of things, I mean, obviously GT, if you look at GT, they've got right through that batting order guys who have contributed right through the season. Yeah. Right, that's one. And you have impact player. Shubman Gill is your impact player for the last few games. So that's a huge, huge advantage if you think about it. Yeah. But just that knowledge or the confidence of having guys like Lea Tewatia or Abhinav Manor, who's been very good this season, all these guys coming behind you, I think that kind of frees you up as well. Yep,
it certainly did, because they got 78 in the power play and they got 64 of the next 6. So there was no slowing down for the Titans, and even though there were a few overs that went for 3 and less than and 6 and less than 10, they've got plenty of insurance and they've ended up with 227. Surely that is a winning score, or does anyone think it's chaseable? Deep?
I doubt. I mean, to be honest, but it boils down to Mayers and Quinton de Kock to a great extent. Sorry,
sure.
Go on.
No, please.
No, I mean, if they get a good start, of start, or even 70-75% of what GT got, the game's on.
Are you planning to send all your guns up front now? And how would you approach this? There's only one way to win this, I guess. It's 228.
Well, I still think this is game on.
Really?
Yeah, I do. I think it's heavily in favour of GT, but I would definitely not be flicking off the TV or catching the bus home if I'm at the stadium, because they have got the artillery. There's no question about it. They've got the artillery, and a lot of these players have also played T10 cricket, where they've done that successfully. So this is nearly like the intensity of like a T10 approach. So it's, bring it on. When you've got a lineup that boasts Mayers that goes hard, Quinton de Kock that goes hard, you've got Stoinis that is renowned for going hard. You've got Puran there. I've missed out, obviously, Pandya and Huda, but even both of those two can go hard.
But really, will come in as well.
You're and Benoni's in good form. So I think they should go hell for leather and just go for this, and forget about the consequences of losing and the consequence of a net run rates real smashing because they've got the advantage of that 1 point.
Okay. Shami, Rashid Khan, Noor Ahmed.
Yeah, good luck.
Good luck. Yeah.
That's the other side of the
that's the other
conversation.
side. It sounds great. They were playing Mumbai right now, so
Yeah, that's right.
Our win
That's right.
predictor says 94% Gujarat and 5.9%. I think
I
we'll have
would
no
agree
issue
with
with.
that. Yeah, I would
I'm
agree
sure
with
we'll have no issue with the amount of spin in the second innings.
Yeah, absolutely.
8 overs at least.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of the better bowling units this tournament. I mean, one of the best maybe. So yeah, good luck to them. It's going to be quite interesting. But
Well, Rashid's gone for 50 already once this tournament.
you're making the case up for LSG.
No, all I'm saying is
possible.
stay tuned.
Oh, yeah, it is,
Stay
yeah.
tuned. We could be in for some fun.
He's put his neck out. He's been getting it right off late. He said Lucknow will win.
Especially with
At
Delhi.
227, he's got to come up with all
I
this.
can't wait to be sitting in this seat in 20 overs time.
Including throw in the T10 bid as well. You know, he's putting every case that he can. But he's a great man, Tom Moody, insightful man. He sees things the common man doesn't. You know, the novice like me doesn't. So, in all seriousness, you think this is still game on?
I do think it's game on, but I think it's heavily, not 94% in favour. I think it's 75% Gujarats. They have to have an absolute shocker in the field and bowl poorly to lose this, but that happens. That happens. That's why, and I just look at the impact players, the power that the Super Giants have got, that it is possible. Why isn't it possible we can't see a Nicholas Pooran 35 ball 100? Yeah. You know, that is possible. He's done it before.
Are you
I guess
sensing this could be close at all?
it's going to be difficult. So I tell you what, either it's going to be close or it's going to be like a massive margin. So nothing in between kinds, you know. So if they're really going to go hard and try and...
Do you want to firmly sit on the fence then?
Yeah. Firmly.
Come on, give it to me.
But I tell you what, the difference, I do understand the resources in terms of batting. I would be, okay, you've got David Miller, you've got Pooran, you've got Quinton de Kock, you've got Shubman Gill. So batting is not the differentiator here. I think the bowling is. That's where I think GT is heavily loaded that way.
Yeah, they're going to win so easily, Gujarat Titans.
Like I say, either way.
Yeah, they're just going to. I'll give it to you. There you go. Yeah,
Okay,
let's have some
please.
fun.
I
Yeah.
know you can't help yourself.
Yeah.
Not that we're really interested, but
No,
please go ahead.
Nobody. This is just for you to be more satisfied when you sit in that chair.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if I say, yeah, Tom, I'm with you, then you just go like, yeah, I predicted it. But if I say, no, Tom, there's no way this is going to happen, you could seriously put me in my place. So I'm allowing for that. I'm sacrificing one for the team. I'm a team man like Riddhiman Saha.
Okay. Perfect.
Okay.
I think they've started, haven't they?
Yeah, they have.
No, not
If
as
we-
yet. So
if
there
we-
was a little bit of an issue with the keeping. I think they wanted a keeper substitute in Kona Bharat. But I don't think the umpires allowed, so they've got
well,
Sahab.
that's surprising. But yeah,
He's got his trousers the other way around.
has he? Oh, well done.
Definitely, yes.
Yeah, that's not where the branding is. That's a brilliant spot by Dasgupta. Poor Riddhiman Saha, yeah.
I think that's a very, very smart move from Saha because it's going to draw some attention. So those sponsors are going to get even more value, bang for their buck.
As it turns out, he's taken the first ball, it turned around a little bit, so that's worked as
least
well. I think he knows that now. There's a smile on Saha's face.
At least he's got his shirt the right way around.
Yeah. All right. Well, he was hitting it all around the ground today, so it's Riddhiman Saha's day. And you think Gujarat Titans game to lose. Lucknow Super Giants better watch out. It's one thing that they are very capable of getting these runs, as Tom Moody has pointed out. But they also need to keep an eye on their net run rate. Should it at all come into the equation? It shouldn't with the odd point they've got. But well, let's see what happens. We'll pick up the chat at the end of this game. Build up to Sunrisers in Rajasthan. Thank you very much to Dasgupta and Tom Moody. Remind me what your prediction was again. One prediction.
Okay.
Yeah.
GT winning it easily.
GT winning it easily. All right, there you go. That'll have something for us to discuss. But keep an eye out. Tom Moody's been getting a lot of these right. So we'll see how this one goes. Join us for Visit Saudi presents ESPNcricinfo T20 Timeout and download the mobile app. It'll have you covered with all the changes that are likely. So quite a few of the Lucknow players holding their hands and worried about the ball hitting them. De Kock among them, Mayers among them, Krunal Pandya too. Riddhiman Saha seems to have had some trouble. But anyway, Shubman Gill's been impacted out, which was on expected lines, and in comes Alzari Joseph. We expect Ayush Badoni to replace one of the Lucknow bowlers as well. So we'll see you at the end of the game to see where both these teams stand.